a simple example perhaps is a coin. You've got two sides of a coin. You've got two polarities in a coin, heads and tails. And how many coins are there? There's one coin. So non-duality doesn't actually mean oneness. Non-duality means not two. But yes, experiences are useful. There's no doubt about it. If you have a particular spiritual experience, you might get a huge amount of understanding and insight into something. And that can free a lot of things up. I mean, that's not just in spirituality, that's in anything.
It doesn't have to be via spirituality though, does it? It could be through walking or, other things, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, if you consider spirituality to be a certain thing in your life, where you maybe go to a temple or go to a teaching or meditate, yes, it doesn't have to be spirituality. It can be going for a walk. It can be having an argument with a family member and that you have an insight. Because when we're talking about spirituality, we're talking about the whole of life.
Yeah.
We're not talking about something divorced from life. But yes, exactly right. So we're not saying spiritual experiences aren't useful. We're not saying you shouldn't have them. But we're just saying no particular experience is freedom. It can't be. And if that doesn't make sense, go away and think about it. Think about the logic of it. That all objects come and go. And experiences and states of consciousness are all objects.
Do you think you can have freedom in a moment though? So like you were saying, to be present is to kind of be free. So say like meditation, like when you take time to go within and be silent and you're just simply experiencing that. What type of experience would you say that is?
Well, what would you say? Have you done that before?
Yeah.
And what's your view of it?
I guess it would be subtle.
Yeah, definitely. How does it feel for you? Do you like it? Is it good? Is it bad?
It's kind of like it's just like a stillness, like you can cut off from the thoughts.
Yeah.
So that in that sense, I would say it's freedom in a single moment.
Yes. Yeah. And how's that affected you? Bringing that into your life? If you have brought it into your life.
It's kind of changed my life around in a sense. It's hard to put in words, but
It's been positive.
Being positive, just accepting yourself for who you are.
It can be such a positive thing in your life. And that perspective, that silence, that when the thought is lessened or even gone or temporarily stopped, you can get such a depth of perspective and you can start to see things very clearly. And when the mind's quiet, it's really primed for insights. Insights can just come in and they can work their magic on you and they can be transformational. But then what happens is that you have a particular experience of being silent. And it often feels good because all that stuff stopped, right? And that stuff's annoying. See, initially it can be good. Thought can be good for a bit, but then, like any other object, it's boring. You can suffer because of it, right? What tends to happen is that you want to just always be in that state of silence. When that silence is always there, you feel at peace. Whereas when the chatter comes back in again, then the peace is gone, isn't it? I don't know if that's what's it like for you.
Yeah.
So then what happens? You end up with this conflict between a meditation practice or whatever it is and life. You think, well, if I could bring that stillness into the whole of my life, do you see what I mean? And you can to an extent. You can And it depends on how noisy your mind was before. If your mind was very noisy before, then you can quieten it down and bring that into your life, and that'll make you feel happier. Just like lots of things in life can make you happier. But it doesn't give you complete freedom. It's also impossible to control your mind 24/7. You can try it, but it's pretty much impossible. Eventually, any state of mind you create will eventually end. So, developing peace of mind is really useful. It's beneficial for us as human beings. It can improve our life. It can create a space in which the teachings of freedom are better able to be seen and realized. But a state of silence itself is not freedom. It's a type of duality, you see. Because you've got silence as opposed to noise. So you've got this whole life, this oneness. We've just divided it in two. On one side there's the silence and the presence, and the other side there's the noise you want to get rid of. So you created a conflict. You're trying to get rid of the noise, favour the silence. Is that any different from the person who's trying to get any other object?
I think there's a balance in there. Do you think?
Tell me what you mean.
So I guess, obviously, like, we're living a dualistic experience. There's no escaping that, really. So it's a balance of kind of the non-dualistic parts of us integrating with the physical aspects, so that there isn't conflict anymore.
Okay. What do you mean by life is dualistic?
So we are physical beings in a physical vessel, and so forth, but we also occupy the non-physical with our brain states, emotions, the subtle experiences we can talk about. So we're kind of both, and it's kind of like balancing those two aspects.
Yeah. So I see what you're saying. So what I'm talking about is actually maybe slightly different to that.
Okay.
And I'm not asking you to sort of necessarily believe what I'm saying, but I'm just offering my teachings here, and you can see if they work for you.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't, and they may or may not. But for me, when I say non-duality, I'm talking about all of this. So black and white, and hot and cold, and up and down, and left and right. Of course, there's polarity there, right? So if you imagine a magnet, have you seen those magnets? Like one half is red and the other half is metallic or something. You've got a north pole and a south pole of the magnet. Yeah. So that's polarity. You've got two poles, two ends of a stick. And the non-duality is like it's all one. It's one magnet, isn't it? A simpler example, perhaps, is a coin. You've got two sides of a coin. You've got two polarities of a coin, heads and tails. And how many coins are there? There's one coin. So non-duality doesn't actually mean oneness. Non-duality means not two. So a coin, is it one or is it two?
It's both.
It's both. So can something mathematically be one and two? So the point is that we all know what a coin is. It's pretty simple, right? Now, if you try and put it into words, it can get quite confusing. And imagine trying to explain that there are two sides of a coin, but it's one coin to someone who's never ever seen a coin or anything like that before. You can make it really complex. So that you can't say it's one, Well, you can say it's one, but you can't say it's just one, because it's got two aspects to it. You can also say, well, it's not got two aspects to it, it's only one, there's only one coin. And that's a bit like non-duality, which is why it's difficult to talk about. There's the life, there's the polarity that we experience. Maybe that's what you meant by duality. You know, you experience all these different people, different things. That's like duality, people say. To me, that's not duality. To me, that's just our experience. And then non-duality just means, well, this is the freedom here.